Hi.
Nervous, some people, huh?
May I help you?
Yes, you have a reservation for an Axel Foley?
Well, let's see. I'm sorry, I don't see anything under that name.
Check Rolling Stone Magazine's Axel Foley. That's what it is.
Okay. No Rolling Stone, no Axel Foley. I'm sorry, sir.
Oh, that's all right. You guys probably just made some kind of mistake with reservations. Why don't you just give me another room now, go up and go to sleep?
I'm sorry, sir, but there are no rooms available.
Don't you think I realize what's going on here, miss? Who do you think I am, huh? Don't you think I know that if I was some hot shot from out of town that pulled inside here, and you guys made a reservation mistake, I'd be the first one to get a room, and I'd be upstairs relaxing right now. But I'm not some hot shot from out of town. I'm a small reporter from Rolling Stone magazine that's in town to do an exclusive interview with Michael Jackson that's going to be picked up by every major magazine in the country.
Excuse me, sir. It seems that we do have a last-minute cancellation. There is a room available. It's a suite, but I'll only charge you the single room rate.
Thank you. I'm sorry I got upset. It's probably from jet lag or something. I'm very tired.
Well, what's going on, everybody? I know what you're thinking. Why is Kenny Francis in Jeff's seat? So we're going to get into that. You know, we got a special show today, but again, welcome to the podcast. As you know, we're here to spotlight our amazing artists, musicians, producers, everything in between from the greater Memphis area, all over. Produced by SRP Studios, podcast-powered branding for business growth. Go to srpstudiosllc.com for a free consultation. Tune in every Wednesday morning for fresh episodes on Apple and Spotify. Join us at 6 p.m. Central on YouTube and Facebook for Wednesday video releases and early mornings, like I said, for the audio platforms. For all details, visit therhythmsectionpod.com. We are presented to you by Hempville, CBD Southaven, whose mission is breaking people's dependency on Big Pharma. Discover life-changing CBD products and Delta-8 THC alternatives to opiates and prescription medicines. Use promo code TRS20 for an exclusive 20% off purchases at hempvillecbd.com and enjoy free shipping for $50 and up. Please visit their store at 562 East Goodman Road, Southaven, Mississippi. You can find stuff like Benoid, as in cannabinoid, premium THCA, Delta 9P, HHC-P. What does that stuff mean? Well, if you listen to Ben Cooey's podcast, Hempville CBD, you will learn about all of that stuff, what sativa and indica is. A lot of people already know this, but the podcast is to educate people on what cannabinoids. Where we go. Yes, here we go. Kenny, yes, you're witnessing it. You're seeing how the sausage is made.
We are live.
Cannabinoids. And the differences between THCA and THC. It's very educational. So if you want to learn more, you can follow the podcast on Facebook and Instagram and Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. The best way to support that podcast is to subscribe. We don't redo here, Kenny. We just leave it all hanging out. We just let it roll. The best way to support this podcast is to subscribe to Ben Cooey's YouTube channel. Click the link in the description and hit that subscribe button. Visit hempvillecbd.com for all information. Smooth sailing, Kenny.
Man.
Penny.
You make
French.
it very tempting to try this stuff, but being a truck driver, I don't dare.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kenny Francis.
Thank you. It's an honor and privilege to be here. This is crazy.
Throwing you in. So, obviously, Jeff needed to fill in today.
We love you, Jeff.
Yeah.
We hope you're okay.
Everything's okay. There's no health issue. There's no issue with the family. It's just I couldn't make it today. Could not do the show today. So the show must go on. Mr. Kenny Francis lives right down the street and happened to be off this weekend. You're only here every other weekend, so it worked perfectly. Full disclosure, you were already going to be a special guest in our intro today to talk about Ricky Buchanan's celebration of life. So we're going to get into that. and have some fun and some shenanigans. So,
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans are always fun. So today, our feature is Nick Ireland from Land Divided and Hairspray Nation. Coming down the road, the final 3 episodes of the season, we have Julian Wong from formerly known as Davy Dave Smith, the Deb Jam Band and Landslide, Memphis tribute to Fleetwood Mac, and a full endorsement of... Let me turn my phone off. My goodness. It's that day, y'all. And we're leaving this. We're leaving this. You know what I'm saying? It's just, this is what we do here.
Roll with it.
So, where was I?
Davy Dave Smith.
Davy Dave Smith, full endorsement of all Joshine products. Weenus wipes, the whole thing. If you don't like the word taint, earmuffs.
Right.
So that's all I'm going to say. And then our season finale, Wednesday, March 20th, John Roth from Winger and Starship. Oh boy, history, and what a story, and just a great guy. So fun. He came to play. He was just awesome. So
yeah, Tina and I went and saw him and Corey Myers last night.
Oh yeah, at the Mississippi Ale House.
Yep. Man.
Yeah, I've yet to go to one of those, but I was playing. You know,
Right.
as mentioned last week, I got a deal over at Gold Strike, and as we record this on the 25th, I just did Friday, Saturday, but that's not about me. All right, dude. So this is perfect because Ricky Buchanan just had a celebration of life.
Yes, it was beautiful, amazing, wonderful.
It was
all those words.
it was at Lafayette on Friday, the previous Friday we just had, right?
Correct.
And how long had that been in planning? Were you
I was not part of the planning, so I don't know how long.
Okay, so let's spotlight the people that really led that. So who were the ones that put it on and hosted it?
Definitely
And organized it.
as far as I know, definitely Ricky's sister Nina.
Mm-hmm.
She did an amazing job of putting it all together with the speakers and the music that played, and it was just
Yeah.
I'm sure John had a lot to do with it, and especially his daughter, Nita's niece, had a lot to do with putting it all together.
Yeah, I'm sure it was hard and difficult.
It was, yeah. I'm sure.
It's a lot of work, but it's also the reason behind the work. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. When Nina got up and spoke, she mentioned that they had actually laid Ricky to rest right before that,
okay.
the same day.
Okay.
And it was just immediate family only because of Miss Nita's health.
As it should be.
Yeah. So it was a very small private ceremony. They laid him to rest, and then we came to celebrate his life.
And what time did it start?
It started at 4:00.
And how long was it?
It was for an hour.
Okay.
Lafayette's was more than gracious to close it down for the event.
Oh, so it was private to the event?
Yeah. From 3 to 5, it was just us. And then 5 o'clock rolled out. They would open it back up to the public. But we stayed for another hour just reminiscing. And
because you mentioned this turned into a big reunion, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Who were some of the characters that were there that haven't seen each other in a while?
It was so good seeing Bones, John Rogers, and his brother Jimmy Rogers. Bones came in from Little Rock for it. It was great seeing them. When I first walked in, I didn't see a soul I knew until I went to the table to sign the name from the registry, and I turned around, and there's the Fulps, the Knights, and JoJo Smith, and John Buchanan. Everybody was there, and Troy and Rick from EMN, and all of them were there.
Yeah.
All in one area.
Yeah,
So
it must have been fun.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet, right?
Yeah.
But that's why you have a celebration of life.
True. Yeah.
You're here to reminisce and talk and come together.
Yep.
Were there some other names that you had that on that list?
Yeah. As far as speakers, Nina opened the thing with a speech she wrote, and then she brought up JoJo Smith to speak.
I've never heard him referred to as JoJo Smith.
Yeah. That's
I'm calling him that from now on if I bump into him. What's up, JoJo?
It's JoJo.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's the sweetest, funniest, greatest guy.
Yeah.
Scott Sudbury got up and spoke because his family and the Macris and Buchanan family are close in their elder history
Because they live near each other, right?
Yeah, I think they grew up together somewhere. And then a couple other people. I don't remember their names, but they're childhood friends of Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
They spoke, told some great stories. But yeah, another thing was when Todd Poole walked in, it was just coincidence. He walks in the door, and the drums for Times Are Changing starts playing.
What's the connection there?
Because Todd's Roxy Blue. Times Are Changing is a Roxy Blue song.
Oh, so we spoke about this. So in between speakers,
Yes, in between speakers,
they played a song, or Memphis made music.
Yeah, Memphis made music. They played like
Okay.
Zavion, Joanna Dean, of course the normal, TNA, Roxy Blue, EMN, Tora Tora, Lord Tracy.
Yeah. So I forgot that part. So when you said Todd Poole walked into a song, I was like, okay.
But it was just
But that's
funny that
so it's
he
a
just-
Roxy Blue song.
Yeah, and he walks in right as it starts, and I heard that Rick Rule leaned over and goes, "You playing that?"
He walked in like this.
Yeah.
Well, amazing. Are we missing anything on this? Or
big
please
shout out-
speak about it.
Big shout out to Keith and his son Chad Lyle for doing all the production for the event.
Mm-hmm.
They would put up pictures on the big screens of Ricky and stuff. They had a camera set off to the side where you could take pictures, and it would be sent to the family. And they had a registry book to sign. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, good for you. I'm sorry we couldn't make it, but I think it's rad that they closed the place down for you guys.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Lafayette. It was wonderful you did that.
Yes, thank you. And I'm sure it made a lot of people happy. And again, going back to the reunion part of it, that's special.
Yeah, that was it. It felt like home.
Right.
I mean, it felt like walking into the stage stop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's those people, and it was all we were missing was the Purple Heart shots and the Planter's Punch.
Were those popular drinks at
Yes.
Stage Stop? What was the first one?
The Purple Heart shots.
Tell me what's the ingredient to that?
I don't remember, but they were very cheap shots.
Okay.
Which is what we could afford back then.
But pack a buzz?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What was a cheap shot back then? How much did that cost?
$1.50.
Oh man, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That is cheap. You know,
Yeah.
in my 20s, I was one of those Jaeger bomb guys. But
Yeah.
when it's $4 a pop each one, it's awful. But well, before we get into the band sponsors, you wanted to give a special person a shout out.
So
And, let's
big
talk
hello
about
to our son Sebastian Hines.
All
The
right.
greatest, most wonderful son you could ever ask for. Super smart, which I don't know where you got that from. Super talented. He loves his cars. He loves his music.
So
And,
cars. What's his car?
Right now, he has a Subaru WRX that
Was it the car I saw when I visited you
Yes.
at the car show in Bartlett?
yeah, that one.
That was really nice. You and your son parked next to each other.
I love it when we do that.
Yeah, total car guys, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder where he got that from.
Right. But he's decided he wants to come over to the dark side and get a V8 Mustang.
Oh, how long have you been pushing him in that direction, Kenny? Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does he like working on cars?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, he has, on the Subaru, he has changed the exhaust. He's changed all the suspension. He's put on new wheels and tires. What? Oh, yeah. He installed a new stick shift. He's changed the clutch on it. So,
I know how to change a wheel, change a tire on the side of the highway. I know how to check my oil and other fluids.
he
sort
changes
of.
his own oil.
Yeah. And what else do I
He
know?
jacks it up and drops the drain plug. And
I know how to fuel it. I know how to put
Yeah.
gas in the car. That's about it, bro. Like, but I know you and Jeff have a kinship too with cars, and he's a Corvette. I've always known him as a Corvette person, but now he has a Mustang, right?
Yes, he's had quite a few in the past.
Okay, yeah,
of both.
Uh-huh.
But he right now he's got that 711 edition Mustang that he just bought.
Man, when I hear 7-Eleven, I think of Slim Jims and slushies.
Which I'm trying to get him to bring him out just some of these car shows, man. Cause
I don't know if for as long as I've known him, I don't think he's ever done a car show, and he's always had Corvettes. He'll sell one off and get another one and just kind of rotate.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now, you said your son is into music?
Yes.
So is he a player?
He is not a player.
Okay, but a listener.
He is
just
a listener.
like you, a fan.
Right.
Yeah. So what is his go-to?
He's got a laptop that he's got these programs on. He does his own trap beats.
Oh, so yeah, he's a player.
Yeah.
He's a creator.
Yeah, he's definitely a creator.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
And they're great.
Uh-huh.
He actually wants to have a couple. He wants to have like actual live instruments on them. Like he sent a demo to Jimmy Folk. To see if he will to lay some live drums on it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Jimmy's going to hear this before getting the call, isn't he?
No, he already knows.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We sent him the link a couple days ago.
Awesome.
And he said, "Yeah, absolutely."
Of course. Yeah. Jimmy's awesome, and
Yeah.
that will sound cool.
Yeah.
To have acoustic drums as the beats, as
right?
The trap beats,
right?
Well, let's talk some band sponsors, shall we?
Sure.
All right, let's do this. All right, we're gonna start off with Shawn Few, formerly known as, will be Saturday, March 2nd at Neil's, Saturday, March 9th at Hadley's, and Saturday, March 13th at Dan McGinnis. Yes, reminder of their residencies. First Saturday at Neil's every month, second Saturday at Hadley's, and the last Saturday of each and every month is at Dan McGinnis, which, as we record this, they just played Dan McGinnis last night. And my Mama Darlene was there, and she had a great time, and her hair was sweaty, and that's when you know the show is good, because she loves dancing.
Your mom's the greatest.
Follow Shawn on Facebook at Shawn.Few.7. Seeing Red, Saturday, March 9th at Lafayette's Music Room, 9 p.m. Saturday, April 13th, again at Lafayette's, 9 p.m. start then. Then they have a special event coming up, Saturday, April 27th at the Farms Golf Club in Dyersburg. It's a 6 to 11 show. It's a songwriters showcase, and a portion of the proceeds will go to St. Jude Dyersburg. For ticket information, you can call Jody King at 731-694-3442. You can follow Seeing Red at seeingredband.com. Oh, our friends Fevertree. Fevertree is a Memphis-based rock band that pulls heavily from its southern roots. Listen to the singles Muddy Jesus and Buried Alive on Spotify, along with albums Social Mediocrity and Lessons Learned. Opening for such acts is Tora Tora and Josie Scott's Saliva. Fevertree brings the sexy and delivers some sweet possum titty.
Possum titty.
Find Fevertree's socials and tour dates at fevertreeband.com and Area 51, Friday, March 1st at Lafayette's. That's a 6 p.m. start. Saturday, March 2nd at Dan McGinnis, 9 p.m. And Saturday, March 3rd at Neil's, 6 to 10. I'm sorry, Sunday, if I said that wrong. It's Sunday, March 3rd at Neil's, 6 to 10. Follow Area 51 on Facebook at Area 51 Memphis.
40?
Say again?
40? 40 Area 51? You said 40.
I said follow?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just me mumbling, dude. I mean, squirrel is when you space out. So that sound doesn't really fit. I need to find what was that character's name from the old Bill Cosby cartoon? Hebbelobo, how are you badooberibing?
Yeah.
What's that guy? I can't remember his Mushmouth. Mushmouth.
Yeah.
Mushmouth. I am Mushmouth. So that was some mush mouth action right there. So thanks for calling me out. You fit right in, sir. I love it. All right, so Nick Ireland, guitarist for Land Divided
The
and
great
Hairspray.
Nick Ireland.
Yeah, so Land Divided and Hairspray Nation. So you're familiar with Nick. You know, I'm sure you've seen Hairspray
Yep.
several times over the years. Explain to the listeners what Hairspray is all about, Hairspray Nation.
They're pretty much an 80s glam metal tribute band.
Yeah. And with the get-ups.
With the complete
wigs.
costumes, wigs.
Yeah, party.
Party band.
Yeah.
Big time.
And his drummer, the drummer is his father, correct?
Yes, the great Bobby Ireland.
So do you know Bobby from...
I've known Bobby for easily 30 plus years.
Okay, and there's a stage stock connection, correct?
Yes.
Because Nick definitely brings it up that good old dad used to bring him there.
Yep.
You know, and I believe Land Divided even played there.
I remember that. I never saw them, but I remember them playing.
Yep. You know, helping the youth out. And it's cool that he was able to get a piece of it before it went away,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which I never had, you know, as far as, you know, when it came to that big reunion that they had at Neil's, that was all first impressions for me. So much fun. And I can only imagine in the 80s.
Oh my gosh.
Are you kidding me? You know, like I was old enough to witness the 80s and to kind of see what's going on. There was a lot of partying.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of family just doing just partying, man. There was a lot of partying. And I grew up in a small town. I grew up in a big town, but now it's a small city, Sanford. And I mean, my mom would go out 3-4 nights a week, just like she's doing now, all these different bars. But if you knew Sanford, there's barely room for one bar to have a band, you know, as far as people to actually go out. You know, there's definitely live music in the Sanford area, but not on a Tuesday night unless you're seeing, you know, a little acoustic thing somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Not a full-on rock show at one of the 10 bars in town. You know, that was the 80s.
Yeah.
People went out too, didn't they?
Yeah. There were times we'd go out 7 nights a week.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, when Stage Shop was in full mode, they'd have the touring bands come in, start Monday, play to Saturday.
Yep.
And then Sunday we go in for the $3.99 steak dinner.
Ha! $3.99 steak dinner. I bet you got it free though, didn't you, Kenny?
Nope. We paid like we were supposed to support the band and support the club.
Of course you did. That's why you are a music ambassador, Memphis music ambassador. So of course, when talking to Nick Ireland, we do talk about his collaboration with Jacob Turner. Jacob Turner is the drummer for formerly known as, and been on the show. Good guy. We're good friends with his parents. They're in the studio with Jimmy Fulp, working with Jimmy at Broken Snare. Jimmy and Broken Snare comes up every week now. Good for you, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome job. And they have a single. They have several songs on Spotify, but the song "Hero," man, it has over 4,300 streams. It's pretty solid for Land Divided.
That's great.
You know, and they're a bunch of kids that are really dedicated to being original artists and getting out there. And you know, I don't want to say they're looking for a record deal. I don't think they even really think of it that way. But they're just trying to get out there and make some waves and be a real original band. But it's cool that on the other side of things, he's in a really fun cover band too. So he's getting it both, you know.
Yeah.
And when I first saw them, I sat at I saw them at the Sidecar, Southaven. But we had a crappy seat table way in the back. And so I was seeing them from afar, you know, and I didn't end up meeting anybody. If you would have told me the guitar player was in his 20s, you know, with the wig and the glasses and the whole thing, I would have.
Yeah, with that wig on, he looks just like Tom Kiefer. That's great.
Well, this has been fun, Mr. Kenny. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Your beautiful wife, Tina, is here with us off camera. You want to say hello again?
Hey.
You say it a little louder so they can hear you.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hello.
Anyway, so let's move on to our interview here. So thank you for watching, as always, or listening, whatever you prefer. We love it when you do any of the versions on Facebook, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. If you are watching or listening, we are very happy about that. Don't forget HempvilleCBD.com. TRS20 for 20% off at checkout. Free shipping on orders $50 and up. Again, as always, thank you to our wonderful, sexy, voluptuous band sponsors, Shawn Few, Area 51, Seeing Red, and Fevertree. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. You can go to therhythmsectionpod.com for all links and channels. And awesome. We're looking forward to spring. We're wrapping up this season strong, and we're excited to bring forward the next several episodes for this season. But today is Nick Ireland Day. Thank you for watching and listening. Enjoy our interview with Mr. Nick Ireland. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the young and talented Nick Ireland with us today. Let's go. Let's do this. That's right. Hairspray Nation, Land Divided, all kinds of things to talk about. Thank you for being here, man.
Thank y'all for having me.
How young are we talking?
26.
Okay. All right. You're still a youngster.
I'm still there.
Wise beyond your years. All right.
We say that about all of our young guests.
You know, I mean, wiser than me and Jeff, probably.
That doesn't take a whole lot.
I'm 46 and he's 60, so.
Not 60, not yet. I got a little ways to go.
So, yeah, man, we've been excited to have you in here once we scheduled you. And again, thanks for being here. We want to talk about your bands, your father, the history of there.
Yeah. Your recent concerts you've attended. I didn't know that until today, and I can't wait to hear that.
I meant to make a post on Facebook, but I haven't gotten a chance to. But
we're gonna dig into that one.
Yeah. So your dad is Bobby Ireland.
That's right.
And he's the drummer for Hairspray Nation. You're the guitar player for Hairspray Nation. Let's start there. How did you end up in Hairspray Nation?
First of all, let's mention the rest of the members of the band. So we don't get our asses chewed.
Yes, go for it.
So I myself am on guitar. My dad, obviously on the drums. And then on rhythm guitar and vocals is the Mississippi Madman, Motley Attila, or Matilla.
With the top hat.
With the top hat.
Yeah.
And the wall of amps
And
behind
the wall
him.
of amps and the wall of Marshalls.
Yep.
On bass, we got Trip Gintz.
Okay.
And then on lead vocals is Mr. Chris Cook.
There you go.
And you guys switched it up a little bit. You used to have a keyboard player.
We did. We used to have a keyboard player.
Who was he?
That was Mark Bates.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Mark.
Yeah.
So, and you guys just switched the order because Mott was playing bass when he was in the band.
Right.
Right. You just flipped it around a little
We
bit.
kind of flipped it around. Yeah.
Good deal. Yeah, you guys are great. I've caught a few sets and
Yeah, thank you.
You
I mean, our MO is just try to put on, the show that y'all used to go and see in the 80s. And that's kind of what, what we do.
yeah, Aquanet wigs, and that's good stuff. And what's crazy is like before I knew you and saw the band, it was at a Sidecar Southaven.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
From where I was sitting, I wouldn't have known it was a 25-year-old probably at the time.
And just for clarification, Mott's is not a wig.
Yeah, good point. He's a realist, man.
He is. Yeah. He's a wealth of knowledge and stories, man, about gear, about just how the inner workings of being in a band is. It's so easy just to bounce off ideas off of him. And really everybody in the band, my dad included. Here I am with just 10 years of experience maybe, and they've got 40 years of experience.
Yeah.
It's
good to be surrounded by that.
Oh yeah,
You can only win with that. So were you part of the inception of the band?
No, I wasn't. So the band actually goes back even before my dad joined. So dad was asked by Chris, like 2021 maybe, like, hey, can you come in and fill in some dates on drums? And dad was like, okay, yeah. And so he had like 6 dates that he had to play with them. And slowly but surely, dad's like, hey, I kind of like playing with these guys. This is cool. And then when there was another lineup change and their guitar player left, Dad went to them and said, "Hey, if you're looking for a guitar player, this is right up my son's alley." And it's true. I mean, that's my bread and butter is the 80s music.
That's hilarious.
That's so cool to hear. My son is 24 and he loves it.
Oh yeah,
he's all about the 80s.
My daughter's 15 and doesn't know Boston exists. She's Poison, Motley Crue, what?
Yeah.
So Dad said to Chris and them, was like, "Hey, let's try out my son and see what he does. Just give him a set list." And I got their set list and just learned as much as I could within, the time frame I had, and went in first rehearsal, and rest is history.
So that's 2021.
Yeah. So it was about 2021 my dad joined, like first half of 2022 when I got the call to audition.
So you're almost 2 years in.
Yep.
Depending on what month you join, but good for you, man. It's awesome. Yeah. Making money is pretty fun too, isn't it?
It is. Making money is really fun.
Are you into video games?
I am. Yeah.
So do you spend a lot of your paychecks on that, or?
Well, I did buy myself a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, so I've been playing a lot of Zelda and Metroid here recently. So.
Nice.
My daughter used to have a Switch, but she was like 10 at the time, and they get bored quickly of things.
So are you, as far as your guitars, do you seek out the 80s guitars like Les Pauls and Ibanez and
I've always been a Les Paul guy. Les Paul's been my main one for many, many years. When I started doing the 80s stuff, I quickly realized the Les Paul is good, but when we start getting into the faster stuff like the Eddie Van Halen's and Richie Sambora and stuff, it's like, okay, I need something that's a little bit lighter and something with a whammy bar on it.
Yeah.
And so I actually scored going to Revolve one week and found a Sir guitar.
Okay.
Which is actually what people like John Roth and Red Beach play.
I've seen John's.
And Josh Haynes has one and Seth Kirkendall has one.
Nice.
And so I saw it on the wall. And
what is it model after? Is it like a double humbucker?
It's the model I have is in a HSS hum single Strat.
Okay.
So and it plays like a dream. It's smooth as butter, man.
That's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Before I started playing bass, when I was around 14, I had a Jackson Charvel with the reverse headstock.
I remember him well.
And man, I tried my best to play as much Metallica on that thing as I could. And I made the mistake because it had the Floyd Rose, and I made the critical mistake, taking all the strings off to restring it and not knowing what I'm doing on that. Yeah, it's a different animal.
And I recently bought a Eddie Van Halen model guitar. It was a 5150, so it's got the hockey stick headstock on it with the Floyd Rose and the D-tuner, so you can go drop D with a flick of switch.
Nice.
And trying to set that Floyd Rose thing up, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, I had to bring it into somebody. I was like, please fix this for me. The action was so high. The intonation was completely thrown off. Couldn't tune it.
When it works, it works. When it doesn't work, oh man, I was like, it's about to chop you up in the firewood.
The other iconic guitar from that era that I remember with the reverse headstock was a Kramer.
Yeah.
Remember those well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know if I sold it to play bass. I can't remember why I got rid of it, but I wish I still had it, man. That would have been kind of cool.
Yeah. So usually my rotation of guitars is usually one of my Les Pauls and then one of my Super Strat type of guitars. And I'll usually switch out, if I see a song coming up on the set list that's a little bit more lead heavy, I'll be like, okay, trying to grab,
Do you have to change for tunings? Like, do you do E flat for some, standard for others?
We're all pretty much all E flat for songs. When we do in the Motley Crue, since Motley Crue is a whole step down, I've actually got a pedal on my pedal board that lets me drop all the strings down half step in the D standard. So I leave everything and I leave all my guitars in half step, but I hit on this pedal and then I'm down.
That sounds
step.
great.
It sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Saves from switching that guitar.
Yeah. Saves me from bringing another one because usually Dad and I will load in our stuff all together in his car. So we've got a mountain of gear in his car.
What's the car?
A Ford Expedition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you're filling that thing up, you guys are bringing some shit.
Yeah. usually it's Dad stuff.
Man, forever. I bring two basses just to have a backup, and I never need it. Yeah. And there's times I'm like, oh, fuck, I just want to take my one guitar. And then that's going to be the time.
That's going to be the time.
When my jack blows up or, God forbid I break a bass string, which I have not done since 1998 when I was in college. I actually broke a string on a bass. The E string. That's how old the fucking strings were. So, so crazy. But, well, great. Now we also want to talk about Land Divided, your original band. We got Jacob Turner on the drums. If you don't know who Jacob is,
I don't know who Jacob is.
You don't know. You guys don't talk.
We don't.
You guys communicate through your lawyers, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
our agents,
But Jacob is the phenom drummer for formerly known as Lost 45s. This new 6 Feet Thunder trio that they're putting out there with Josh and Shawn. He's just amazing. Shout out to Trip and Tamara. I always want to say Tamara.
I know. I screw that up too.
Or is it Tamara?
It's Tamara.
Yeah, I got it wrong.
Okay, see there.
You don't remember my name.
Sorry, guys. I love them. Very supportive parents.
Sorry, Miss Turner.
Yeah, there you go. Mr. and Mrs. Turner. Mr. and Mrs. Tripp. And then we got Zach Perry on bass.
Yep.
And then Jillian Acor. Cool, on lead vocals and guitar as well, right?
Yes.
So how long has the band been together?
So the band has been together, God, I think since like 2017, but I wasn't an original member. Jacob had asked me to be an original member way back then, but I was so busy with school at the time that I had to decline. I just said, I can't do it. Class is kicking my ass. But then a couple months later, he came up to me and said, hey, our guitar player we've got now is leaving for college. Can you step in? I said, yeah, sure. Let's do it. And so a couple weeks later, I got the set list from him and we started going through, the cover set list that they had back then. And then the first gig I played with him actually was Cooper Young Fest.
Nice.
And Cooper Young Fest is only original music.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so within the span of 5 weeks, we wrote about an hour's worth of original music.
Wow.
We did have some help. We did have some help from Shawn Few though, because he gave us some songs that he had written in the past.
Nice. Shout out to Shawn Few.
Gifted us some songs, and we still play some of those songs. Some of those songs are actually being recorded right now.
Anyone that doesn't know, our theme song, that's Shawn Few and Jimmy Fault.
Yep.
So very generous. He gave us that as well. So,
but you guys were woodshedding your asses off to learn that much original material in that short amount of time.
Oh yeah, I mean, majority of our practices have been, songwriting and playing our older songs and just goofing off and just trying to come up with stuff. It's a very democratic songwriting process because someone will come in like, hey, I've got this riff. It's like, oh, I've got this riff. Well, how do those two connect? Let's work on it. And so, when it finally comes time to get in the studio, we're banging them out, 1, 2, 3.
Does Jillian write the lyrics pretty much 100%, or do you guys even help with lyrics?
Lyric wise, I think it's mainly between Jacob and Jillian.
Okay.
I've lent my hand here and there, but usually my thing has been, riffs. But then I also like to, take the song as a whole and like kind of listen to it and be like, no, don't repeat that. Add another chord to that. Try kind of like the overall producing part of it.
That's sort of wearing the producer hat, isn't it? Now, writing can kind of go in all kinds of different directions, but the two ones that I think of is riff and rhythm track first and then write vocals to it, or vice versa. Do you guys have a mixture of Jillian, let's say, will come in with some lyrics and you put music to it? Or is it mainly, here's some music, now we got to put lyrics to the music?
Usually music comes first.
Okay.
Yeah. Music will come first and we'll kind of structure it to where we'll leave some space for lyrics and melody. And that way we go back in and we have a nice, layered song that we can say, oh, it's easy to pop in a verse here, pop in a chorus here.
That's great. And so you joined in 17, you said?
I joined in 18.
18. Yeah. So, man, 6 years in. I mean, so you guys are not even drinking age when you guys are working this stuff out. You are working with Jimmy Fault currently, right? For some new stuff.
Yeah.
Because you have how many songs now published on Spotify?
So we've got the first EP, I think it's 4 songs, is out there. That was with Jimmy Fault. And that was recorded 2019, I think. And then we've got Hero, which was a single. That was with Jimmy as well. And then we've got another song that was with one of our friends at University of Memphis that we helped out with one of his projects.
I jumped on your Spotify today, and Hero is your highest rated.
Yes.
And man, it's 4,400 spins and views and streams, man. That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like a cent a spin you guys have made. You know.
Who knows?
No, that's the story with the whole streaming thing. You know, even the huge national acts are not happy.
Yeah.
With
No, they're not making much.
They don't make any money,
which is just awful,
right?
and brutal.
I'll get that penny someday.
Yeah.
So, how many new songs are you working on now?
I think we've got 4 brand new songs, and then we're going to do an acoustic version of one of our older songs.
And you're already back in the studio with Jimmy?
Yes.
Or that's upcoming?
Yes, we had a session with him a couple weeks ago, and then we'll be back in this Friday.
I got you.
Broken Snare.
Yeah.
Broken Snare.
We love Jimmy Falp here.
Yeah, he's great.
Big friend. Awesome friend. Oh, yeah, he's a big friend. I'm a big friend to him too, but he's also a great friend. And shout out to Donna Falp, because I know they're watching this in their living room right now.
And their cat. Donna's always posting pictures of the cat. I don't remember the cat's name. Sorry, Donna. But
When they're not on vacation at Disney World,
or
their monthly visit.
Yeah. It's not just Disney World. They go every freaking way.
I get exhausted just watching their posts.
Yeah, they live on an airplane.
Give us a description of Land Divided. You know, what's the vibe? What's the style? What can people expect when they go to their Spotify page and listen to your stuff?
And where do you guys play? Are you doing local shows? Because we know, unfortunately, Memphis is not super embracing the original music community. We hope that starts to change. But where do you guys play?
One question at a time, Jeffrey. I just asked him a question.
I know, I was just helping.
God.
I hate you.
Okay.
I don't. I love you, Jeff.
So, I mean, Land Divided is just a big group of friends that, thank you. We're just a big group of 4 friends that, we just love hanging out and playing music together. And sometimes our rehearsals just turn into hangout sessions, and we just,
Getting nothing done.
Yeah, which is, can be productive still.
Sure.
But we all have so much in common as far as, our personalities and our music tastes. So it's really easy for us just to gel and blend and play together. And so, and it translates on stage as well, because when we do go out and play, we just have a blast, man. And
it's mostly rock, like harder edge.
It's mostly rock. We try to do a little bit of harder edge stuff, but we definitely try to. It's that fine balance of like, we want to show off our skills as musicians, but we also want to make sure, hey, we're also trying to have fun and make sure the audience enjoys it as well.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to hear Dream Theater.
Yeah. There's been a couple of practices where we've pumped out some proggy stuff, and it's like, oh God, we can't really play this.
What are some of the influences that come into the writing sessions and rehearsals?
Well,
what are yours first? We'll start with there. And we're not going back to Jeff's question, by the way.
So
flipping the bird. Thanks, Jeff.
My main influences have always been, the 70s and 80s hard rock. And so it's going to be the Kiss, it's going to be the Van Halen, the Def Leppard, the Journey, all that just guitar.
That's right. You already mentioned
stuff.
that part.
Yeah.
But what are the other players bringing in?
Usually it's I'm trying to think here.
I certainly know Jacob likes Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters is definite. Red Hot Chili Peppers is a definite.
Okay.
Good bands, man.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll throw in like a little Thin Lizzy, between me and Jill.
Some guitar,
some dual guitar work,
some harmony.
Some guitar mini, we call them.
Guitar mini?
Guitar mini. We call
I like it. You kids making up words.
But like, I'm trying to think about like our cover sets we used to do. When we'd throw out just, oddball stuff like Smashing Pumpkins and Joss Stone and all the kind of the bluesier stuff. We've even done like Eric Gale songs.
Nice.
Which is really cool. We've done Rush before. We've done Def Leppard. We've done, just a whole host of stuff.
Just a nice variety.
Just kind of run the gamut of just rock in general.
Good deal. Yeah. All right. So to Jeff's question, what kind of venues are you guys playing?
So it's been a long time since we've played out, but the venues we have played have been Lafayette's, Neil's Music Room.
There you go.
We've played before at the St. Anne's Bartlett Festival.
Okay.
We've done that for a couple of years. I'm trying to think.
Huge shout out to Neil's and Lafayette's. Thank you for giving young, original music a shot.
We played at Stage Stop before.
Oh, love it.
All right, let's stop there because I wrote this down.
Do this.
Yes, everyone watching the stage stop. Alex, go to the middle camera here, and let's talk stage stop. Because before we hit record, Sarah Spain came up, who was a previous episode. I strongly suggest you listen to her interview, and you guys go way back. And part of her interview was her dad taking her to stage stop. So I mean, here's this 26-year-old bringing up stage stop. Yeah. Here you are wearing a shirt, and you said that your dads were friends.
Yes.
So my question to you is, did your dad bring you to the stage stop as well?
Absolutely, yes.
So you grew up there as well.
I was 14, 15 years old, and I was walking in there and
awesome
getting to meet Nita and Slick Rick and all them. And yeah, it was one of those weird things where it was like, get up on stage and play, and it's like, all right, you got to get out, or else Nita's going to get in trouble because there's a 15-year-old in a bar.
Yeah. And of course, Slick Rick, may God, rest his soul, and by the time this airs, down the road, obviously we're still talking about him. So rest in peace, Rick, Slick Rick. And we had a Kenny Francis in with us to talk about him and the history because they knew each other from back in the day. So
yeah, but Nita, like Neil and the people that run Lafayette's, were very, very helpful in helping younger musicians out. Just saying like, hey, I've got an open spot, on a Thursday night, nobody's going to be here. Can y'all play, 45 minutes or something? And it was just just enough just to, go out there and play on a, real rock and roll stage. And
what was that first show like for y'all at Stage Stop? How old were you guys when that went down?
So I was with another band. I can't remember the name.
Oh, so Land Divided hasn't played Stage Stop?
No, Land Divided has played Stage Stop. But I was even there before Land Divided. Before I was even there with Land Divided.
You're a veteran.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Was it a blur? Do you even really remember it? Because I got to feel like at a young age, when you take that stage, it's got to just seem surreal.
It's just, you walk in and it's just like 1978 is hitting you in the face with a boat oar.
Yeah, because I know you can reference 78 in your head is how it was back then.
Well,
I can't. I was just being born in 78. So yeah. So what was that experience like?
It was just kind of magical, really.
Yeah.
I mean, just to get on stage and play anywhere is, a privilege and a blessing,
Sure. Did Rick give you guys the full treatment and make you feel like rock stars?
Yes. Slick Rick was always in Slick Rick mode.
Yeah.
Well, while we're on Slick Rick, because of the circumstances here, let's talk about him and your time with him and your experiences with him.
Yeah.
Did you know him well?
I didn't really know him well, but he's just one of those figures that he was always there.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk in his stage shop and there's always Slick Rick.
Yeah. Just a staple.
Just a staple,
always there, and you can count on him, right? To from the stories I hear is he was just a hype master, right?
Yeah.
Making everyone feel special and like rock stars.
Yeah,
right?
and since my dad had played at Stage Stop numerous times before, he obviously knew my dad, and so did Nita. And so when Dad ended up bringing me and eventually my little brother to Stage Stop, Slick Rick was like, y'all's Bobby's boys.
So there you go. Yeah. But what's great is by the time you play that place, the place.
Mm-hmm.
So you can feel the honor of being in there, even at a young age, because of your dad, and that's so cool. And just like Sarah's dad, so cool that they did that for you guys.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. So we mentioned your dad, Bobby, Ireland. And what's his history like? Because you just said he used to play the Stage Stop back in the day. Sounds like everyone, here's Slick Rick saying, oh, you're Bobby's son, and instant credibility. So what's your dad's history in the music scene?
He's got a lot of history, actually. And so it would be better if y'all got him in here to talk in detail about his history.
Well, he denied us. He was like, no, talk to Nick. No, he did not do that.
No, he didn't.
Bobby did not do that.
What was the name of his band that played stage, or bands? Do you know?
Man, I know the one band that he played with back then was a band called Ireland, aptly named.
Okay.
That was kind of like his touring band that he had in the early 90s. And so he would frequent the Stage Stop with that band, and then many other bands, like he played with Ken Houston.
Okay.
For many
Ken.
years. Yeah.
Shout out to Ken.
Shout out to Ken.
Yep.
I call him my Uncle Riri.
Uncle
Because
Riri.
I've known him for a long, long time.
How do you get Riri from Ken Houston?
I don't know.
I'm going to ask Ken the next time I see him. So, quick math.
Yeah.
You were born 98?
97.
97.
Yeah.
So, right out of the gate, you're witnessing your father work as a musician.
Yeah. I mean, my earliest memories are him coming home, unloading his drums. And at one point, he was playing an Aquanet too. And he would come home, unload his drums, and then he would hang his wig on the shower head in the bathroom. And so I would get up in the next morning to use the bathroom, and I'd see this black thing on the shower head and freak out because I'm like, that's a tarantula or something.
Well, I can only assume he did that because it was sweaty. Or was he letting it drain? What's going on there? Why is he putting it there?
Welcome to the show, Bobby.
Is he using the same wig for a hairspray?
No, he's not. But Dad was always playing music throughout the house. Dad always had his drum set up. Dad plays, pretty much every other day. He's always playing something, either his drums or something in the car, or listening to something on his computer. And so that was kind of real. My first exposure to music was just listening to my dad listen to stuff. And then further along down the line, I remember he gave me one of the very first iPod Nanos, the ones that used to look like USB stick.
I remember those.
Didn't have a screen on or anything, but he loaded up with like 150 songs or something. He said, "Here, listen to all this." And so I'd listen. It's Kiss, it's Def Leppard, it's Journey, it's
good job, Dad.
Yeah, no doubt.
Kim Mitchell, Go for a Soda, all that kind of stuff.
I don't even know who Kim Mitchell is.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
you gotta look up Kim Mitchell, Go for a Soda.
I'll check.
Great Canadian artist.
Okay,
it's so fun, with you. And now again, we had Sarah in here. At your ages, to be so in depth with your knowledge.
And it's so great to see parents handing that stuff down.
Yeah.
My kid's first concert was Journey.
Yeah.
That's where I took them. I wanted to make sure
cool.
they got started right.
Yeah.
And
Dad made very good sure that, Matt, both my brother and I, grew up on some good music. And, you look on my Apple Music right now and it's, Kiss, Def Leppard, Journey, Mr. Big,
Yeah.
Tesla, all these people.
Well, you said it, so we got to talk about it.
Yes, we do.
You just took in a concert.
I did.
At the Ryman Auditorium in Nash Vegas.
Nash Vegas.
And it was Mr. Big.
It was.
And I'm a little bit jealous and
Yeah.
pissed off that I wasn't there.
I got to meet my hero, Paul Gilbert. The reason I started playing guitar was I remember I got a guitar for Christmas one year and really didn't gravitate to it as well at first. But one day I saw my dad watching the Mr. Big reunion show at the Budokan.
Yeah.
And I started watching it, and Paul Gilbert did his guitar solo.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit.
Nice.
What is this?
Watch your language, young man.
No, they are a phenomenal band, and we'll throw up the photo that you showed us.
Yeah.
That you got.
Yeah, text that to me.
Yeah.
That you had your picture taken with the band,
and so my guitar. That's kind of where my guitar playing story started too. Was with Paul Gilbert, because immediately after watching that video, I started looking at Paul Gilbert licks.
Sure.
What was it about it that really just stuck out to you?
I never recognized the concept of shred guitar before. The really fast legato, alternate picking plan,
sweet picking,
and all that stuff. And it was just like a whole new world because I just turned, power chords and blues scales beforehand. But to see that, like, oh my God, you can go like even faster, even cooler, and all this kind of stuff.
And you can do it with a bass.
Yeah, Billy Sheehan.
Billy Sheehan.
Billy Sheehan, yes.
Yeah.
He is his own guy.
Yeah,
oh,
Billy
man.
Sheehan is. So everyone that knows Mr. Big knows that the drummer passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about who played with them on the kit.
So it was a guy named Nick DiVirgilio that they got to play for them, and he was phenomenal. Hit all the parts that Pat Torpey would, note for note.
Yeah.
Vocals sounded on point because Pat Torpey was a really good vocalist within that band as well. And you would have closed your eyes and thought, Pat was still there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Great. Now I can't remember the name of the song, so
You don't remember my name?
What was their big hit? The ballad-ish song.
To Be With You.
Yeah.
So, I'm a teenager, so that's the song I hear. That to me, that's Mr. Big.
Right.
And then you go just outside of that one song.
Oh,
and you go,
yeah.
oh no, these guys are a different band completely.
Green Tinted 60s Mind.
Daddy Brother Little Boy.
One of my favorites.
Colorado Bulldog.
Yeah, they're amazing.
And what's funny, how my guitar playing got started was immediately after watching that Paul Gilbert video, I started trying to learn Paul Gilbert licks without ever having to, learn what a power chord is or what a note is.
Damn, you put that cart way before the horse, sir.
Way before the horse. And it finally took my dad to be like, hey, you need to start listening to AC/DC. You're not there yet.
The rhythm is important, sir.
Yeah, rhythm is always the most important.
Question about Paul Gilbert.
Yes.
Is he still playing with headphones on live? Well, and if not, why did he do that?
So the rumor is that he's got hearing damage or hearing loss. And so that was kind of his trademark for a while was the headphones. And what was funny enough, because we did the VIP experience, so we got to see him sound check. He was wearing the headphones then, but when they went on stage, he wasn't.
Well, I'm assuming in-ears, right?
Yes.
So I wonder why he just didn't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a look for sure. He's the only one doing that.
It was a look. And I think for a while, he was using the headphones as his in-ears. Kind of like how some drummers use the big over-the-ear.
Yeah, he just felt
headphones
more
for
comfortable
in-ears.
that way.
Probably,
Maybe gave him that studio feel.
Yeah,
because they sound different.
The rumor has always been, I think, that he has like some hearing loss, and so he tries to protect it as much as he can.
God, yeah, my head rings every night now.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in silence and I'm in between YouTube videos, it's terrifying. I'm like, what am I doing to myself? So that's great. And did you go with anyone? Did you bring?
Dad and I went. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, way to go, Dad.
Well done, Dad.
And me and Jeff were at Ryman last year to see
Tom Kiefer
and
Corey Myers
and Winger.
Yeah, and Winger.
And then who opened it on acoustic?
Karabi.
Yeah.
John
Which was
Karabi.
great.
Yeah.
He was funny. Like he was
dude.
It was like a storytelling thing, but he wasn't going into story mode. He was just bullshitting in between each song, and it was funny.
And he was a fantastic player.
The only Motley Crue album I can listen to back and forth is the Karabi Motley Crue album.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
A lot of people say that?
I've heard that from many people. Love Karabi.
Huh.
That version. Yeah.
What was the name of that album?
It was just Motley Crue. It's just self-titled.
Was it? Okay.
They call it the 94 album, I think. Is
because I bring up Van Halen because 5150, Sammy Hagar was the first one that hit. But this is before your time, but there used to be a thing called Columbia House where you would get like 10 cassettes for a penny, but then you're supposed to subscribe and then you never pay anymore. And that's how Van Halen hit me.
That poor business model is probably why they're not still around.
Yeah. So, they didn't move forward with doing the same deal with CDs, that's for sure. So with all of that said, there's always an origin story for the player, him or herself. You bring up Paul Gilbert, bring up the influences from your dad and everything, but what was it like when, you picked up your guitar? And interesting, did you ever play your dad's drum kit?
No, I mean, there's actually a video of me as a baby, like, hitting the drums with a drumstick, but
you never gravitated to the drums.
I tried to at certain points, and I was not coordinated enough to play. You should try to watch me play sports. It's pretty painful. It's pretty painful to watch. Even at 26 years old, I can't throw a football to save my life.
Standing on a skateboard is a death wish for me.
Oh, me too.
Oh my God. So I'll give you the floor. What was it like when you first started?
Kind of how like every kid starts out. You get your guitar. And then the spark that lit me was obviously Paul Gilbert. And then, soon after, I started taking lessons.
Where at? With who? Or
it was through the St. Agnes Academy music conservatory program. And so they would bring in, different instructors every so. But one of my first instructors was a guy named Gerard Jones, or Mr. G, or G, people called him.
I know him.
I took lessons for him for a good bit, and then he told me about this place that was opening up right down the street from me called School of Rock that he was going to go and work at. And so he invited me to come out to, I guess it was like their open house or something. And so I went and checked it out, and I was like, this is cool. I want to be a part of this. And so that was freshman year in high school. And got in there, started taking lessons again with G. And so the way School Rock does their shows is they pick, certain bands or certain themes as part of their season shows. And so they only had enough students for one show at that point, but the show they picked was the Beatles. And it was
Nice.
all eras of the Beatles. So everything from, She Loves You, Yeah, to I Want You, She's So Heavy. And so I got in there and started meeting people my age playing music, and did that for a little bit. And then in high school, I really wanted to be a part of the Christian Brothers high school band.
Okay.
The oldest high school band in America. Really wanted to be a part of that because I wanted to learn how to read music and, learn classical music like that. And so actually during high school, I played French horn
Okay.
for all 4 years of high school.
Interesting.
And so being part of that was, so cool. And I credit a lot of my musical knowledge to the band director, Patrick Bolton, Stephen Womack, and our jazz director we had, Mr. McKee.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Both my kids went to high school band, and it's invaluable.
Oh, yeah.
It does so much for you to develop you as a musician.
And not even just a musician, but I made just lifelong friends
Sure.
Yeah.
in that program as well.
Why French horn?
Well, it was the only instrument he had available at that time.
There you go.
But I quickly learned to love it. It's a different beast than guitar, obviously.
Yeah.
But the way it plays within the context of music is very much a counter melody
Interesting.
instrument. And also for like a lot of marches, you do a lot of upbeats. So it's stuff like that.
That's
So
cool.
it was weird having to because during the week at school, I'm French horn, but then weekends it's like, all right, now I gotta go play the stage stop.
Right.
So it's like I had to switch gears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't read music. I'm a drummer. I'm not a musician. It's two different things.
It's okay. It's okay.
So, when you learn to read music for French horn, does that translate into every instrument, or is what the French horn guy looking at and what the oboe guy is looking at, are they different?
Is it
things?
treble clef or bass clef?
It's a treble clef instrument.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking
Yeah.
that, Dixie. I told you I wasn't
So
a
it's
musician.
the staff above.
Okay.
It's the one on the top.
I
That's
got
all.
you.
That's it.
That's
all
it.
you get.
Yeah.
You're done.
I know. I remember face. Right, the spaces between
Yep.
the FACE
Mm-hmm.
and what were the lines? I can't remember.
BE. Was it BE? Oh God, Mr. Bone's gonna kill me if he watches this. Sorry.
I played trombone for 4 months in 5th grade. So there you go. And
And then
I
became a
hated
bass
it.
player.
My mom knew it, and she's like, "If we return this now, we get a full refund." I'm like, all right, here we go. You can have it back. So, have you ever brought your French horn to a Land Divided writing session?
No. I never owned one personally. I always rented from the school.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, but I kept my mouthpiece though. I still
There
have my
you go.
mouthpiece somewhere.
That's very personal.
Yeah, it's
The
very personal.
mouthpiece is very personal. Beatles. Anyone that brings up the Beatles, I got to go back to it. And I asked the same question. What's your favorite album?
I don't know if I have a favorite album, but I do have a couple favorite songs.
Let's go.
Helter Skelter,
Yep.
Back in the
White
USSR. I Want You, She's So Heavy, Don't Let Me Down. Come Together, obviously.
Yep.
Oh Darling. Just
Yeah, so you're hitting White
Yeah.
Album, Abbey Road, and Let It Be.
Yep.
Anything prior? Like, do you like Rubber Soul, Revolver?
that kind of got too weird for me a little bit.
Oh, so you probably don't listen to Sgt. Pepper's?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
If the mood catches me right, I'll listen to it. Yeah.
I suggest listening to Rubber Soul.
Okay.
It's before they get really out there, but it's a
Yeah.
transition album. Sarah's favorite album was Rubber Soul.
Yeah.
We became friends at that moment.
Instant friend.
But I mean, when you were introduced to the Beatles, was it your thing?
No, not really. I mean, it was just one of those things where
Get out. Get out now.
But I obviously knew who they were. I knew the impact they have on music.
Mhm.
So still being able to play those songs was really, really cool.
Ever dabble in Floyd?
Here and there. Yeah.
David Gilmour.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's the king of less is more.
I mean, Comfortably Numb, Young Lust, Run Like Hell.
Right.
All that stuff.
Young Lust is a great song.
Mhm.
Did you ever get out to see Pulse?
I know. Oh, yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Yeah, they were great.
Mhm.
I'm anxious to see what they do post Josh Haynes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know they're stewing something up.
Yeah.
They're not going to end,
Nope.
So I can't wait to catch them again because I had a huge Floyd phase back when I was a little younger than you, my earlier 20s. All of their albums, and they're a fascinating band.
Josh is a fantastic guitar player. I mean,
Yeah, he is.
He's all right.
Yeah.
He's an encyclopedia.
He's a savant, is what he is.
So, Hair Nation,
Yeah.
how busy do you guys plan to be in 2024? Do you know yet? Has it been discussed?
I mean, fairly busy. I mean, we've got dates all the way out until September.
Okay. Great.
Just kind of sprinkled here and there. And usually we'll leave some wiggle room for some other stuff to pop up.
Sure.
But, it's fairly consistent, 3 or 4 times a month.
And
great.
Chris Cook, right?
Yes.
He's the drummer for Roxy Blue,
Mhm.
correct? So that, he just played the Whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would love to hear how that went.
Mhm.
But I'd gather, he needs openings for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much they play, but
Yeah. So, if you guys want to get out and check out some great 80s rock and roll, they're an awesome cover band. This the whole thing, stage performance,
wall
the
of
look,
amps.
the wigs. It's good stuff.
I saw Aquanet, I would say 2011. Was your dad in that band then?
He may have been. He's floated in and out of Aquanet for several years. I don't know if he was playing with them then or not.
Because I saw him at the Boiling Point,
Oh, that's been a minute.
and they had fake Marshall stacks.
That's great.
I think one was real. They did that trick,
Mhm.
and then had just empty boxes. So it was like four
Yeah.
cabs behind the guitar player, and I just thought that was cool.
That completes the look.
It sure does. What kind of amps do you use?
So I'm actually running through a Line 6 Helix.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. That
That's
seems like that's more common now.
Yeah. At one point I was playing through like a Mesa Boogie Lone Star and a pedal board. I was getting really into like the pedal thing, and quickly realized like I'm gonna start running out of money if I keep buying pedals. So I called up Josh Haynes,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Hey, I know you played with a pedal board and amp before, and now you play with a Helix. How did that happen? How do you like it?" And so he, explained it to me, just how modular it is and how free it is to, I can pull up this amp, these pedals, and that's my go-to sound for this song or maybe just this band or whatever.
And then you just get fed with your wedge in front of you. Do you do in-ears?
I'll do a mix of, usually I'll do my in-ears, but then I'll also do a wedge sometimes if I want that air to
Right. The feel it.
Yeah, feel
You
it.
can feel it.
Yeah.
Random.
Mhm.
Outside of music.
Yeah.
Is there anything interesting about you? No, that sounds so rude as hell. But it's something that people might not know about you that is, just totally different. Do you have a hobby outside of music?
I only make enough money for one hobby. Let's be honest.
Understood.
Come on, Hairspray Nation. Let's book these gigs up.
No, but I work out fairly regularly. My brother got me into working out, right after COVID, and just trying to take care of my body and, eat a little bit right and, make sure I run and lift weights and stuff like that.
I do none of that, unfortunately.
You are the only one in this room doing those things.
And I need to.
Yeah.
I'm on like a 20 pound per year clip here, so let's see what I look like in 2030. Well, are we missing anything? Or is there, anyone that you want to say hello to or push? Do you want to push some more dates or like Land Divided? We talked about them, kind of what you're working on now.
Any shows booked for them?
Yeah.
Not anything concrete,
Okay.
but we're working on it.
Okay.
We're kind of focused on this little album we're working on right now. So
Sure.
when we get to a certain point with that, I think we'll stop and say, all right, now it's time to, get out and play this stuff.
What's the ultimate goal for you guys? Like, where do you see this in 5 years?
I think just keep writing music and keep playing out.
Yeah.
That's really,
Especially the writing
really
part.
Yeah.
Publishing that music out there,
Mhm.
and then it lives forever.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, man. We're happy to have you.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me.
And you're very kind and nice, and you patronize the podcast, which we appreciate. And thank you. You came to one of our watch parties.
Yeah,
sure. That's when I met you. Mm-hmm. That's right. And you're like, I love you guys so much.
So cool. I could see Josh Haynes on screen.
Was it? No, it was the Shawn Few episode.
Maybe it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Shawn Few was the first one. And what was funny is everyone was very quiet, and we watched it like we were in a theater. And then the next two we did was the opposite of that. Yeah. So I guess everyone likes Shawn Few more, I guess. I don't know. I can't remember the other two we did. I don't remember. Oh, Rocco Walls.
It was.
And
Lance McDaniel.
Yes, that's right.
It was.
Yep.
Rocco brought his pillow.
Yeah, we need one of those pillows.
Yeah.
It's a pretty funny pillow. You know Rocco?
Yeah, I know Rocco.
Yeah,
everybody needs to know Rocco.
He enjoys getting naked and taking pictures of it, but he hides his stuff with like Mike Bertoldo's acoustic guitar. He just does all kinds of different things. So
it's hard not to know Rocco.
Exactly.
But one of the most awesome quotes ever in the history of man. Mike Bertoldo said, "Little Rocco touched the back of my guitar."
Little Rocco, little rocket.
Oh no.
We should probably end this now.
Yeah, so we're going to thank the audience for you putting up with that bullshit right there at the end. And as always, people have just been sharing the posts and commenting and engaging more than ever. And that's been a big reason why the Facebook page is growing.
Yeah.
Gosh, we're nearing 1,300, which is awesome. Just a few months ago, we were still under 1,000.
Yeah.
So we do appreciate that. Don't forget our sponsor, Hempville CBD. TRS 20 at checkout, 20% off. I think that's a great deal. Go to hempvillecbd.com.
Yep.
Band sponsors, Jeff. Who do we got?
Shawn Few, Seeing Red, and who am I missing? I knew I was going to do this. Area 51. That was so stupid. Well, thank you guys for supporting us even when we forget who you are.
Yeah, and I mean, that was nothing compared to me and Jeff recording an intro, hitting stop on everything, and realized we totally skipped their whole segment. Yeah. So we had to record it and punch it in. Yeah. The magic of editing.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Rhythm Section Pod, and check out our website, therhythmsectionpod.com.
All right. Nick Ireland, man, you are awesome. Thanks for doing this with us, and we wish you nothing but success.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Nick.
Take care, y'all.